Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my August TBR video plus my reading journal setup for the month. I am very excited about this one because I have honestly really grown to love August as a month. I feel like my anticipation for fall is just always at its peak in August. And I feel like it's kind of a transitional month into, you know, the cozy times of year. So I have selected some books that somewhat reflect that. And my reading journal setup is also going to somewhat reflect that. So I hope you guys are excited to get into talking about some books that I want to read today. Hope you're excited to see my reading journal setup. First, obviously, I want to talk through my TBR. I have about 8 or 9 books on my TBR. I have some fantasy, I have some mystery, I have a thriller, I have a retelling. It's gonna be a good month. I can just feel it. So let me just get into talking about them. The first couple that are on my TBR are actually from the sponsor of this video, who is Book of the Month. As I've said many times before, I love Book of the Month. I love working with them. I love their service. If you guys don't know what they are though, they are a bookish subscription service, and basically how it works is they vet hundreds of new and early release titles every month, and they will then come out with a curated selection of 5 to 7 that you can then choose from. And whichever one you choose will just show up at your door in a stunning, beautiful hardcover. They do have the leading price on hardcover fiction. I do shed a tear every time I see how expensive hardcovers are these days. So having Book of the Month as an option is so nice. I also really love that they focus on spotlighting new and emerging authors over a very wide variety of genre. So I feel like I can always look to Book of the Month when I'm trying to figure out what's new, what's hot these days. I also love that they have a really amazing skip policy. So if you don't happen to be interested in any of their titles for a given month, you can just skip at no charge. So if you've been hearing me talk about this and you're thinking, maybe I should try out Book of the Month, I would definitely recommend. I do have a fun offer for you guys. You can actually get your first book from Book of the Month for just $9.99 with the code FRECKLE. That is a new hardcover book for just $9.99, which is literally such a deal. So let me quickly show you the 2 books that I chose from their selection this month. The first one I'm incredibly excited about because they do have Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher as an option this month. This is T. Kingfisher's new retelling of Snow White, which I'm so excited to get into. I feel like T. Kingfisher just does retellings like no one else, honestly. And this one's definitely giving me August vibes. I would love to read this month. And then the other book in the stunning blue box we have here is a little bit of a thriller. I do love a little bit of a thriller every now and then, so we have Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham. This one is following a main character whose sister disappeared 22 years ago, and you know, the case was closed, everything was good, but things are kind of starting to come back up again. Which again just sounds kind of like the perfect August read. I don't know why, but I always gravitate towards thrillers in the second half of the year, so I think this one is going to be perfect. So these are the 2 books that I picked out this month. I'm so excited to get into both of these. I'm really hoping I can get to both of these in August as well because they feel like perfect reads for the month. But Book of the Month does also have some really great other selections for the month, so I will leave a link to them down below if you want to check them out. So thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video and supporting me and my channel, and to you guys who are watching this video as well for always supporting me and my channel. Your support truly means the absolute world to me. I would not be able to do this if it was not for you guys, so just thank you so much. So with that, we can now move on into talking about the rest of the books that are on my August TBR. I think I want to start out by talking about a couple of mystery books that I would really like to read this month. I did a cozy mystery vlog last year around this time, and I kind of want to do another one, so I've selected some books for that. The first one that I have here is a book that I've seen a couple of people read and really enjoy. So we have Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite. This is kind of a sci-fi cozy mystery, which very much intrigues me. I believe this is kind of like a locked room mystery on this spaceship, and our main character ends up waking up in somebody else's body, but somebody also has been murdered at the same time. There's a lot of sci-fi things going on, but a cozy mystery. Like, it just sounds so good. I've seen excellent reviews of this so far, so I've been really excited to jump into this myself. I also did have to pick up the very tiny little novella. I don't know, like something about sci-fi novellas, like sci-fi hardback novellas. I always like buying them. I don't even know why. Something about the construction of this book is very satisfying to me, so now I have it and I'm not mad about it. Next up for that vlog, I am probably going to finally be reading this book. I put it on the TBR for that video last year and I never got around to it, but I feel like this year is honestly the year of me reading books that I've been putting off. So I'd really like to read Murder at the Vicarage by Agatha Christie. This is the very first Miss Marple mystery, I believe. And you know, I've read a couple of Agatha Christie's. None of them have been absolute favorites, but I feel like I need to give her more of a try. Honestly, I think she's kind of like the queen of like a cozy kind of mystery. And I believe this one is literally just as it is described. We're following Miss Marple as she is investigating the death that happened at a vicarage. So aside from that, I don't know, but I don't think I've ever read a Miss Marple mystery. So I'm excited to see how I'm feeling about her as our lead detective. And then as for the rest of the books on this TBR, it's a little bit random, I'm not gonna lie. So next up, I'd really like to read Electra by Jennifer Saint. This is another Greek mythology kind of retelling, again, through like a feminist lens, I would assume. I read Ariadne a couple of months ago and I really liked it, so I decided I did want to try out some of Jennifer Saint's other Greek retellings. And this one is obviously following our main character Electra, who I believe is the daughter of Clytemnestra and Agamemnon, who are pretty big players in, well, obviously the Oresteia, but they're also featured in the Iliad. I feel like with most of the Greek retellings that I've read so far, I've gone into them with a pretty decent understanding of most of the myths that those characters are involved in. But as for Electra, even though I have read all 3 plays that are in the Oresteia, I cannot remember them to save my life. It was like 5 years ago. I don't remember them in the slightest. So I'm excited to kind of have, you know, a different experience with a Greek retelling, and I'm excited to get to this one. Then next up, I would really like to make August the month that I finally tackle The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is obviously the start to the Wheel of Time, a very epic in scope, like 14 book long fantasy series. I'm not committing to like reading the rest of the series in a timely manner, but I would like to give The Eye of the World a try. It's very classic fantasy. It's just something that I've been wanting to read for a while. As for the plot of this book, I always find it very hard to summarize epic fantasy stories, but I believe we're following our main character Rand. That actually might be all I know. But with something like this, I'm definitely okay with kind of just jumping into it and seeing what I think about it. I also think I'm going to be listening to the audiobook while I read this, mainly for motivation to like actually keep going. But also the audiobook is narrated by Michael Kramer and Kate Reading, my favorite audiobook duo. I love them. They narrate most of the Cosmere books. So when I found out they narrated The Wheel of Time too, it was honestly a big push for me to like want to read this soon because they're just excellent audiobook narrators. So gonna do that. It's gonna be great. Hopefully I can just have a cozy weekend sometime in August jumping in to The Eye of the World. So very excited, bit nervous, because you know, it is a little bit long, but I'm very excited nonetheless. Then next up, I feel like I have a rather random pick, but I'd really like to reread The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I read this book back in high school. I read it for one of my English classes. Obviously it's haunted me ever since and I want to give it a reread. But this also has some of Charlotte Perkins Gilman's other short stories. So we have The Rocking Chair and Old Water. So I'm hoping I can read all 3 of those this month. This kind of just feels like a, you know, kind of, I think she writes like kind of gothic stories. So I'm excited to give this one a reread. Obviously The Yellow Wallpaper is about this woman who has kind of been shut up in this room and the wallpaper starts to move. There's a lot more to it than that, but like that's the general gist. And then the last book that is on my August TBR is maybe the one that I am the most excited about because my Patreon buddy read for the month is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Oh my god, I'm so excited to get to this. The more and more that I've seen people read this, the more and more I'm convinced that I'm absolutely going to love it. This is basically toxic lesbian vampires. Need I say more? Actually, yeah, this is a TBR, so I think I do need to say more. But this is kind of focusing on 3 different women and their experiences with vampirism. It is set in 3 different timelines, so we're set in like the 1500s, the 1800s, and then current day. I truly cannot wait to see what V.E. Schwab does with vampires. For a really long time, V.E. Schwab was one of my favorite authors, and I feel like I've liked just about everything that I've read from her so far, but when we introduce vampires into the mix, now I'm excited, now I'm ready. So I cannot wait to get to this one. I think it's gonna be so good. And if it's not, I'll be so devastated, honestly. I honestly feel like I have a pretty good mix going on here. I'm very excited about all of these. I'm really hoping I can read the majority of them. But now that we've gone through the TBR, I am quickly going to show you guys my reading journal setup. Let me grab the stickers so I can show you what the vibe for August is gonna be. I think they're in here somewhere. I recently got this sticker from Latoon store on Etsy. I'll link it down below, but it's this like magical cozy fall sticker sheet. And I feel like it's not too overtly fall, but it is very cozy. So I thought this could be a perfect like theme for August. Honestly, I'm probably gonna set this up in a very similar way to how I did my July spread because I like how my July spread looks. So it's gonna be pretty simple, but hopefully very utilitarian, I suppose. So let's get into doing my reading journal setup. right, so reading journal setup is done. I hope I like how it turned out. I haven't done it yet, so I guess we'll find out. I'm sure it looks fine. And we have actually reached the end of the video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed going through my August TBR with me, doing my reading journal setup with me. I love being able to film these videos. I love being able to check in at the beginning of the month, maybe show you guys some reading plans that I have, talk about some vlogs that I'm potentially gonna film this month. I do have a very fun vlog that is going to be coming out soon that I have not really shared the TBR for, because in case it doesn't happen, I don't want to put those expectations out there. But hopefully it does happen, and hopefully you guys will be so proud of me. But we have reached the end of the video. Obviously, I'd love to know what books are on your guys' August TBR, or do we share any of the same books on our August TBRs? Also, before we go, I would again like to thank Book of the Month so much for sponsoring this video. Don't forget, you can get your first hardcover book for just $9.99 with the code FRECKLE. Also, I would like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, that is always linked down below. We're doing some fun stuff in August. As I said, we're reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, which I cannot wait for. We're also going to be doing another week-long readathon. It is called the Ghost of Your Former Shelf readathon, which I am so excited about. So if you want to come and join us, I'm going to be doing a bunch of sprints, going to be reading a lot of books. It's going to be a good time. But with that, I think I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you again so much for watching this. I hope you're all having an amazing whatever day it happens to be that you're watching this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!